What are y'all's opinions on medical marijuana?
I think we should legalize it because it helps people with their illnesses and pains and anxiety and other mental health stuff.
I agree with Alexia. For example, cancer patients, they're sick, have no appetite, don't feel good. You could give them CBD gummies and it can cause them to gain that appetite back.
While those are good points, I have to say that I disagree. I don't think it should be legalized because people take advantage of it too easily. And someone can easily get prescribed medical marijuana, but their neighbor might be like, oh, I'm feeling some pain too, can I borrow that? Or their grandkids just got into like a sport accident or a car accident and they're like, here, this helps with pain, and then that can cause others to get addicted as well, and it can just span out over a group of people.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, Carly. I think people use it as like a gateway drug. Like people can easily like say they have stress and anxiety, which medical marijuana has been used to cure and help with, but I feel like people can easily say that they have that and then they get that medical marijuana card and they abuse the use of it as a gateway drug to just get a feel good of recreational purposes.
Right.
I think that's one of the main issues why I also don't believe medical marijuana should be legalized in multiple states. Because even if it has its medicinal purposes, it's still a drug that people can easily get addicted to. And the idea that many believe that it can be used as a stress reliever, well, it's not exactly the most logical assumption people can make. Many people think that using drugs like that or just maybe smoking in general is used for relieving stress or anxiety, when in reality it just amplifies it more. Especially,
Makes them fiend for it, and it causes the addiction in their brain to want it
It's
a
the
lot more.
need that they need.
exactly.
And while there are many benefits to medical marijuana, I do think that there should be more regulation on who is able to get a medical marijuana card and when they can use it. I feel like they use it too freely.
I
agree. Like, you should do background checks on people to, like, if they have a background of being in rehab or drug, possession, that they should not be allowed to have a medical marijuana card. I agree.
And I agree with everything y'all just said, and also like the federal government doesn't even run medical marijuana. They don't wanna mess with it, so they gave all the power to the states.
Right.
And you can't use credit cards or any kind of banking system with medical marijuana because banks are a federal agency and it's run by the federal government, and it's just a whole bunch of problems, and it's caused states to get in arguments, it's caused states to argue with the federal government, so it shouldn't be legalized at all.
I agree with that, but I also believe that if all states legalize it, then the federal government could go and legalize it and more clinical trials could happen and it can cause us to get more information and to be able to do more research over it.
Yeah,
I mean, you could do that, but at the same time, why does it have to be every state? You don't need to do that. If you're trying to do more scientific experiments to figure out how we could use it for its medicinal purposes, then you don't really need to have every single state or clinic within each state to have it legalized for its medicinal purposes.
yeah.
Just do the research first, deduct if it's reasonable to use in medicine, and determine whether or not if the states want to have it legalized.
Yeah, do you think, so like, for example, Colorado has marijuana legalized everywhere, not even for medicine purposes. Do you think that they legalize it for everyone, just for recreational purposes? Because so many people needed medical marijuana, they said, oh, well, we might as well legalize it for everyone. Do you think that's also a negative effect of medical marijuana?
I do think
It's a
that is
possibility.
definitely a negative effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Because just because it's a negative effect for sure, because I understand the reasoning behind it, but the amount of people, there's still a handful of people that don't need marijuana.
Right.
They tried it once and they got addicted, and it's not safe for them, and it might help, some people do need it, but the ones who weren't prescribed, they just start to abuse it and start to just, there are young kids in like high school using marijuana right now because it's like a lot of states have it legalized, and you're not even fully, like your brain's not fully developed yet, and it's ruining your body and the function of
Yeah,
your
I also feel like these days it's easier for kids to get a hold of drugs than it was in the past. I
Yeah,
feel like kids have a bunch of more access, especially like if their parents abuse and they have medical marijuana, those kids can easily say, oh, my parents use it for stress, I'm stressed with school, I'll take a CBD gummy. You know, that's not healthy for the kids.
Yes, yeah, it is way easier to get your hands on drugs like that these days.
Yeah.
I don't exactly wanna mention any specific examples, but I do know from hearsay and possibly from experience that it is much easier to get your hands on something like that and easily get addicted to it. Especially when young kids are still developing their brains and don't exactly have the deductive processes to figure out, oh, is this even a good idea? It's not.
Yeah,
But they
decision
don't do
making can lax in kids when they're younger, especially in high school students.
How do y'all feel about the side effects, even though there's not many studies on what it can cause?
I feel like side effects, there's a lot of negative side effects, as taking too much CBD and cannabis using medicine can cause you to have nausea constantly, and it also causes fatigue. And fatigue also leads to lack of decision making and brain process and judgment.
I agree with that. It can also cause like, if you're smoking and vaping, it can cause damage to your body, your lungs, you can cause
Yeah.
health issues.
Right,
I agree with
I
all
agree.
that, and there are other forms of pain relief.
Yeah.
There are pills, shots. I would much personally rather take a pill every single day or get a shot every couple months than go through the side effects of medical marijuana that they have.
Exactly. I already know exactly what kind of side effects there are, and the whole reason I don't even want to touch it is because I don't trust myself to not get addicted to it. Because, well, since it's easy to get addicted to certain drugs, it's hard to know when to stop, and I don't want that same feeling to happen to me.
Yeah, I think quitting's probably the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like even if I did have chronic pain, I wouldn't feel comfortable using medical marijuana
Yeah,
over
just because of
other.
what you've heard
And
and
especially
know.
owning,
The stereotype.
and yes,
Yes.
especially owning a car movement stereotype for just using drugs.
I feel like there's still more to explore with it.
More research needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.